Next on CTN News.
Making Highway 10 safer for pedestrians. Details on a safety improvement project planned in Anoka next summer. Plus, 3 teens arrested after one successful and another unsuccessful gas station robbery in Coon Rapids. But first,
I'm tired. I'm disheartened to see multiple kids on the street.
a big effort to help homeless youth in the community. That tops CTN News this Friday, December 12th, 2014. Thanks for joining us. Anoka County's only youth drop-in homeless shelter is hoping to serve even more people next year.
But in order to make that happen, leaders at Hope for Youth must reach an ambitious fundraising goal by the end of this year. CTN's Bao Vang reports.
Every night, all over Anoka County, young homeless men and women are sleeping outside in the Minnesota cold.
I'm not going to let this happen anymore.
This new video, produced by Hope for Youth in Anoka, is meant to show what the Anoka-Hennepin School District found was a reality for 655 students experiencing homelessness.
Our youngest one has been 9.
Between 2 and 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, and limited hours on weekends, homeless youth can come here, the Hope for Youth Drop-In Center.
During the day, when the doors open, it's constant traffic.
They receive a hot meal, a safe place to do homework, and take a shower. But at 7 p.m., everyone must leave.
And you have to watch them walk out into the woods. That's disheartening for me.
So fundraising chair John Sitar says the nonprofit is working to find a facility that can provide overnight shelter as well.
Let's go into a porta potty and try to sleep for 8-9 hours and see how it feels. And we have kids do it every single night.
He'll need $1 million before the year is over to make it happen.
I think we're at roughly about $655,000 in 20 days. We're going.
John is optimistic the center is going to reach the $1 million mark by January 1st, but he says if they don't, he vows to sleep outside every night until they reach the goal. Bao Vang, CTN News.
If you'd like to donate to Hope for Youth or learn more about what their services are, just visit their website. You can also find a link on our website at ctnstudios.com.
3 juveniles were arrested this week after an armed robbery and an attempted robbery at 2 different gas stations. The most recent incident happened just after 7 Saturday night at the Fast Trip Market at 121st and Hanson Boulevard. Police say a male entered the business, pulled out a gun, and demanded money from the register. The employee refused and instead called police while the suspect fled into a waiting vehicle on 121st Circle. Back on the afternoon of November 30th, a male entered the More Value Marathon gas station on Crooked Lake Boulevard. He pulled out a gun and demanded money, which was placed into a backpack. The suspect fled on foot, but a canine search of the area turned up empty. A search warrant was executed at one of the juveniles' homes prior to the arrests on Monday of this week. Investigators say they found a replica handgun and the backpack used in the robbery. The 3 suspects are between the ages of 16 and 17.
Workers at a local psychiatric hospital are blaming a change in state law for an increase to injuries to staff members. According to data compiled by the state, 40 assaults have been reported at the Anoka Metro Regional Treatment Center in the first 11 months of this year. In 2013, 24 assaults were reported for the entire year. The Associated Press reports that just last week, 3 staffers were hospitalized after being attacked by a patient. The 48-hour rule, which took effect in July of 2013, requires jail inmates to be transferred to a state psychiatric facility within 2 days of being committed by a state judge. But some state officials say the psychiatric hospitals aren't equipped to handle violent and volatile inmates.
A dangerous stretch of Highway 10 in Anoka will be getting some safety improvements next summer. A median barrier will be installed from West Main Street to Thurston Avenue. The purpose of the median is to divert pedestrians to marked crosswalks. Over the last decade, several pedestrians have died trying to cross Highway 10, and jaywalking is a common sight with many businesses in the area. The estimated price tag for the project is $800,000, with much of the funding coming from a state grant.
A bank from northern Minnesota is making a push into the Twin Cities metro area. Border State Bank, which is based in Greenbush, Minnesota, is seeking regulatory approval to purchase First Advantage Bank in Coon Rapids. The branch is located off Foley Boulevard near the AMC Theater. The deal is expected to close early next year. First Advantage, a community bank founded in 2002, would retain its name and current president and CEO Jim Amundson.
The city is looking at possible remodeling projects at the Bunker Hills Clubhouse and Restaurant. This week, the City Council met in a work session to discuss the proposal. Recently, the Morrissey Hospitality Group took over the restaurant and beverage operations at Bunker Hills. Golf course officials say building use patterns have changed over the last 4 years, and improvements would maximize facility use, enhance the guest experience, and increase operational efficiencies. An architectural group is expected to create preliminary design plans for the City Council to review. Jolly Old St. Nick will be making a stop at the Bunker Hills Bar and Grill just before Christmas. The facility is hosting a Santa brunch on Sunday, December 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is a fee for both adults and children, and reservations are encouraged. In addition to brunch, you can get your picture taken with Santa and decorate cookies. For more information, log on to bunkerhillsgolfclub.com. I know, Karen, you'll be going and seeing if you're on Santa's good list this year.
And I love to decorate cookies, so it's a win-win.
Perfect. Still to come on CTN News, the push to bring Major League Soccer to Minnesota.
Plus, District 11 revises its school closing policy when it comes to inclement weather. Also ahead, the holiday post office rush is in full swing. Details on expanded holiday hours coming up.
You'll get as much benefit to yourself just knowing you're doing something good for someone else.
And it's certainly one of the sounds of the holiday season, how bell ringers are giving back and how you can help when we return.
CTN News. Steve Erickson, Karen Savanich, your local edge.
Last winter, the bitter cold shuttered schools across the state several times.
And as winter sets in once again, the Anoka-Hennepin School District is updating its school closing and inclement weather policies. If heavy snowfall is the issue, a decision to close school will be made by 5:30 a.m. If wind chills reach -40 or below, classes will likely be canceled. If the school goes on as scheduled and weather becomes an issue during the school day, a decision whether or not to hold afternoon preschool will be made by noon, and a decision about after-school activities will be made by 1:30 p.m. A new procedure this year will allow indoor after-school activities to go on as scheduled even when classes are canceled, if the weather improves later in the day.
With less than 2 weeks to go until Christmas, business is picking up at post offices across the Twin Cities. Due to demand, 10 post office locations across the metro will be open the next 2 Sundays between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., including the Coon Rapids branch. You'll be able to drop off packages and purchase stamps. Additionally, in many communities the next 2 Sundays, postal carriers will be delivering packages to customers. During the holiday season last year, the Postal Service delivered 434 million packages and more than 6 billion pieces of first-class mail.
6 billion, is that all?
Quite a bit.
In the season of giving, dropping some change in a bucket is an easy way to give back for many out shopping. But the Salvation Army says it's short on bell ringers this year and behind on donations. This week, CTN's Joe Nelson found out how donations benefit those in need, how much of your dollar goes to charity, and what keeps bell ringers coming back.
This is kind of my spot. This is what I like. This is where I like to be.
About 10 years ago, former Coon Rapids police officer Richard Campion traded in his handcuffs and flashlight for a bell and a bucket.
It's become a tradition now with me.
The Salvation Army of the Twin Cities says it's raised millions of dollars each year from its Red Kettle campaign that provides meals, shelter, clothing, disaster assistance, and Christmas toys during the holiday season to more than 200,000 people.
When the weather's nicer, I find people are a little more generous. I don't know if they've been as generous as normal.
This year we're running about $200,000 behind on reaching our kettle goal, and a lot of that has to do with just not having enough volunteer bell ringers to assist us in that effort.
Salvation Army Twin Cities Commander Jeff Strickler says 83% of donations go to helping those in need.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. I'm sure you get it in there. Yeah. Whether it's a quarter, a handful of change, $5, whatever it is. I mean, it all It all adds up, and it all helps people.
Coon Rapids volunteers say they see a benefit despite having to deal with chilly weather.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. It's fun. I like meeting people. They say, would you be my neighbor?
I really enjoy interacting with the little kids. That's the most fun. The real little ones, the parents will have them put the money in, and then I'll ask them if they want to ring the bell. And that, you can tell with some of the kids, that's like the highlight of their day. When people do something charitable, you almost get a bigger benefit yourself. I mean, you feel good. You feel like you've done something for somebody else.
Thrivent Financial says it will double any coin donations given this Saturday, December 13th. The Salvation Army is also looking for winter clothing donations. For information on how to volunteer or get assistance this winter, we have a link on our website at ctnstudios.com. Steve and Karen.
All right, well, let's hope the warmer weather this weekend brings out a lot more donations.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
The city is looking for candidates interested in working as warming house attendants this winter. Applications are currently being accepted for the part-time seasonal position. Candidates must be available to work between 15 and 20 hours per week between mid-December and mid-February. The pay is $9 per hour. If you're interested, you can apply online by logging on to the city's website. Warming houses in the city are expected to open on December 19th.
The Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission has a new executive director. Todd Johnson, a board member of the National Sports Center Foundation, took over the role on December 1st following the retirement of Paul Erickson, who served as the MASC executive director since 1987. More than 100 candidates applied for the job. The Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission oversees youth athletics and facilities across the state, including the National Sports Center. The Minnesota United are hoping to become part of the expansion plans for Major League Soccer. Last weekend, the team learned MLS officials are expected to announce the next expansion market during the first 6 months of 2015. The Minnesota United are competing against the Vikings to land an expansion team locally. Las Vegas and Sacramento are also interested. Major League Soccer officials say they were impressed with all 4 proposals from the 3 markets.
3 months after playing his last football game, a Coon Rapids High School senior returned to the field on a much bigger stage. Easton Sorensen played center for the Coon Rapids Cardinals, but after taking a hit in the first game of the season, discovered he had a brain disorder called Chiari malformation and could never play again. He had surgery and has recovered and returned to school. Well, after hearing his story, the Minnesota Vikings invited him to a practice at Winter Park, and during last Sunday's game at TCF Bank Stadium, they recognized him on the field as having the heart of a Viking. His family also got to see the Vikings beat the Jets in a thrilling overtime finish.
Christian Bale takes on Charlton Heston's role of Moses in a new movie that's already being called one of the year's worst. Howie Shapiro has a preview in this week's Now Showing.
The year of your birth, there was a prophecy that our leader would be born to liberate us. That leader is you, Moses.
Exodus, Gods and Kings. In this reimaging of the Ten Commandments, the defiant leader Moses rises up against the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses, setting 600,000 slaves on a monumental journey of escape from Egypt and its terrifying cycle of deadly plagues.
I came to tell you, something is coming that is far beyond you and I. This is about Egypt's survival, do you understand? Who has been telling you this? God.
You can see him getting married to reality star Erica Long.
Where's my kiss?
Do we have to do this on camera?
Not on camera, it doesn't exist.
Do you think the wedding is hurting me? Listen, Andre, the wedding is the best thing that you got going right now.
Top 5. A comedian tries to make it as a serious actor when his reality TV star fiancé talks him into broadcasting their wedding on her TV show.
I'm here at the place and it looks sick. It's like epic, babe.
What's up with this wedding? It seems really out of control.
We're just getting married. We're not winning the Super Bowl.
I'm Howie Shapiro, and that's what's showing.
All right, I hope we didn't ruin anything for Hollywood on that first movie by saying that it's one of the worst of the year.
Make up your own mind.
There you go.
Go see whatever movie you want and you decide. You be the judge.
There you go.
And thank you for watching. Be careful out there this weekend. It's going to be warm, but there's going to be a lot of people out, so enjoy your holiday weekend.